everyone, I'm going to go ahead and pick up with the word problems there. As far as we got yesterday in class was to number 8. So I wanted to start with 9, 10, 11, and 12 for any of those who need these for. If you need the whole video, go back, watch the other video that I've got posted, and that would go from the very beginning all the way through to the end. All right, on number 9, 10, 11, and 12, I'm looking at 4 formulas here. So we have the formula A equals P times E to the power of R times T. I'm labeling that as formula A for just a second. Then I've got A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the power of N times T. That one's going to be C or B. Then I have C, and then I've got D. Now, the reason that I've labeled them is just to help me kind of match which formula goes where. So the very first one that I have here, A PERT, is what it looks like. When it has E, that is going to be one that says compounded continuously. So as I read over these programs, or these problems, not programs, problems, number 9 says that the medicine and the medication in your bloodstream is decreasing by 27% each year. So that one does not have continuously in it, okay? Number 10, you deposit in an account that earns 4.85% compounded continuously. So once it says that word continuously, I'm going to be the one using E, using the equation that has E on it. So for number 10, I'm going to use the one I labeled equation A. So for this one, I'm going to need to know the P value, the E value, the R value, and the T value. All right, so then going back to number 9, it said that it decreases. Well, out of these 4 formulas, only one of them shows a decrease, and that would be D. So I'm going to go ahead and note that I'm going to be using D for that one. So for this one, I need to know the A value, I need to know the R value, and I need to know the T value. All right, problem number 11. You deposit $5,000 into an account that earns 2.9% annual interest. Find the balance of your account after 6 years if the interest is compounded monthly. Now, as soon as it says compounding, I know I'm dealing with equation A or equation B, but it doesn't say continuously, so this time I'm going to use equation B. And then for question number 12, a population of 90,000 people increased by 3.1% each year. So if it's increasing, it would have to be equation A, B, or C, because they're all the ones that are showing some type of increase. Equation A has E, so that's continuous, so I don't want that one. B does have an N, which means it's compounding at some period, like every month or every week. And number 12 doesn't have any compounding. So I'm going to go with C on this one. And for equation C, I need to know A, I need to know R, and I need to know T. Oops, for number 11, I didn't write down my variables. So for number 11, we are going to need P, which is a principal, R, which is a rate as a decimal, N is how often it compounds, and T for time. Okay. All right, so number 9, we are going to write this model for equation D, which is a decrease. My initial value, which is A, is 500. The rate is a percent written as a decimal, so that's 0.27. And T is time. For equation A, they don't give us time, so we're going to keep the variable T. And it's not going to give us time because on this one, they just asked us to write the model. So I have Y equals 500. Now, I'm referring to equation D right now because this is the one that I said I was going to use. Parentheses, 1 minus 0.27 to the power of T. I'm going to simplify this here in parentheses. So it's Y equals 500 Then this one here, when we subtract it, will give me 0.73 to the power of t. That is our model. That's our equation simplified. Now that I have that formula or that model, I can use it for any amount of time. So when I go on to 9b, it's telling me here the time is 4 hours. Okay, so I have y equals 500 to the power of 0.73, I'm sorry, times 0.73 to the power of 4. Now, on this here, remember to multiply to the, or take 0.73 to the power of 4, then multiply it times 500. Multiplying comes after you do the exponent portion. So our final answer on this one would be 141, or our decimal answer, I should say, will be 141.9912. And then we're going to round that to the nearest milligram. So that will be 142 milligrams. Now that is the correct answer there. However, if you go back and you give it to me in word form, like you tell me a whole story about it, I will give 1 extra credit point for this problem. And each of these between 9 and 12, if you actually write out what happened, like if you were talking to me, how would you say it to me? All right, number 10. The principal is $22,000. E, if you don't know how to use E in the calculator, please remember to replace that with 2.7182. R is the percent as a decimal, so 0.0485. And T is the time. They're telling us it is 14 years. So using that equation, A equals the principal times E to the power of R times T. All right, I'm going to go ahead and simplify this exponent so that I've got 22,000, 2.7182 as my B value, and the exponent comes out to 0.679. Now you're going to do 2.7182 to the power of 0.679, then multiply it by 22,000, and the value that you get for this one, for 43,381. And now on this one here, they were talking about dollars and cents. So we are going to use 2 places past the decimal. So how much money will we have after 14 years? It'll be $43,381.91. Okay, problem number 11. I need to know the principal, which is 5,000. That's how much we started with. The rate, 0.029. N, how often is it compounded? Monthly, there's 12 months in a year. T is for how many years? That would be 6. So this one here, we will have A equals 5,000. Oops. Times 1 plus 0.029 over 12 to the power of 12 times 6. Now, I would suggest rewriting this, simplifying what's in parentheses, and then multiplying 12 times 6 together to get that simplified as well. Your answer on this one, if you're checking your work on this one, will come out to 5,949. and 02.89. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this one here. Let me know if you have any questions.